Hello, welcome back to a new video in the Java for Beginners series. In this video, we're going to look at multi-dimensional arrays. In the last video, we looked at single-dimensional arrays, which are basically a series of contiguous memory locations storing the same type of value. In this video, we're going to look at the same concept, basically, but in 2D. Let's get started. So right here, I'm looking at a code snippet defining a multi-dimensional 2D array that's called matrix. It's an integer array, so every thing that you store in it is of type integer, and that's basically the declaration of it, and that's the definition of it. As for the definition, we use the new keyword, and then we declare the type, and then we use these brackets, and I'm here using two, one for the number of rows and one for the number of columns. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 rows, and each row would have 4 digits or 4 integers. So I'll have 4 columns and 3 rows. So I could also combine the declaration and assignment in one statement. We would like to start assigning values, given values to the different positions within the matrix. So you start with the row number and then with the column number, and then you give the value that you want to assign. So if you think about the matrix just literally as a 3x4 table, then that's position 0, 0, 0, 1, and 1, 2. If you'd like to create a matrix and assign it simultaneously with one statement, notice these could be all put on one line, so they don't have to span across multiple lines. And what you basically do is just the same way we did with one-dimensional arrays. This becomes one dimension, or like one row, I guess. And this becomes also a one-dimensional array, but the next row and then the next row. And I guess the language can infer the dimensions of your array based on what you are providing as an initial value for the array. So you're saying basically 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 3. So it's a 3x3 matrix or table. If you want to access any of the values that you store, you just simply do the same thing you do here, but instead of having equal and then something, you just access the value and print it. So if I run the code here, this will access 1 and then 2. So this is 0, this is row number 1, and then 2, we would start counting 0, 1, 2, and that's going to print 6. If I change that to 3, I'm expecting an out of bounds exception. So if I hit enter, I'm going to get index out of bounds exception. So the same things that would have applied to the one-dimensional array would apply, but now you're dealing with multiple one-dimensional arrays. And so think about it like this. It's an array of arrays. So this is an array of 3 arrays. Each array has 3 elements. How do we print the contents of a table? So we're going to utilize looping, and I'm going to show you this example here. So follow with me here. So there's an outer loop and an inner loop. The outer loop uses I, the inner loop uses j, and it's looping basically from I equals 0 to I is less than table dot length, which should report 3 in total. So we're going to have 0, 1, 2, and then 3 is less than 3, we're going to break. And each iteration, we're increasing the I by 1. And the same goes for the inner loop, which is we have a j starting from 0, incrementing j every iteration, and j now is less than table of I. So actually, table of 0 is a one-dimensional array that also would have a property called length. So this would resolve in a one-dimensional array that you could loop over in the same way that you would loop over a one-dimensional array. And then here, you're going to have the first iteration of the outer loop and the inner loop 0, 0. You're going to print that. Then the inner loop 0, 1, 0, 2. And then this inner loop would terminate. And then the next iteration where this is 1, you're going to have 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. And then that loop is going to break. And then you're going to have the last iteration in the outer loop, which is going to be 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, and then you're going to break. And then every time you execute, you print out a row, you want to have a new line to just like make it look like a table instead of having everything on one line. So let's execute this and see what it's going to look like. So you got the first row 1, 2, 3, second row 4, 5, 6, and the third row 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Now I'm going to erase this code and show you the other way of iterating over the 2D array. So the other way is to use the for each. So instead of basically having to set the numbers from 0 to length -1 and iterate over the numbers, this just simplifies and streamlines the process. And we've looked at this way of looping before. It's very simple. So the table is the 2D array, and then we're extracting a 1D array each iteration. And so within each iteration, we're extracting an integer within each iteration inside from the array that we've extracted. And we're just simply going to print the value and then a space. And then at the end, we're going to print a new line. And if you hit run, you're going to get the same result. I'm going to show you another example here where we compute the sum of all the elements within the table. And to do that, you're going to start from 0 and then iterate over every element within the table and just add the value to sum. And then at the end, you print the total, which is going to give me 45. I'm going to show you also how to print just the diagonal values. So 1, 5, and 9. And to do that, I'm going to start from 0 and iterate to I is less than table.length. So the last value is going to be 2, then plus plus, and I'm going to use the same variable here to access both the row and the column. And if I hit run, I'll get 159 printed, as you see here. Now, what if you want to print the other way around, the 357? What do I have to change? Well, I know I'm going to be going from top to bottom, so I don't want to change anything to do with the row, but maybe what I will have to do here is say table.length minus I, but length is 3, minus I is going to be 0 at the beginning. So I might need to -1 minus I, and then if I hit run, I guess this is going to be replaced with 357. So I hit run, I get 357. All right, now here's the thing. I'm going to comment out, I'm going to comment this out actually, and comment this out and just keep the logic that prints the table, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and delete the last value in the middle. And if I hit run, everything is fine. I just have one array here that is shorter than those two arrays. So it really turns out what you're defining here is an array of arrays. So with an array of arrays, each array within can have its own length. So I can take out items from here and maybe take 2 items and add them here. And if you hit run, that's totally fine. Now, however, I'm going to say, if you write code like this, that's a bad design. That's a bad idea. Unless you're absolutely certain that you're going to receive an array that has, I guess, the length of the rows is similar to the length of the columns. Because what we're doing here is we're accessing a column based off the number of rows. So yeah, that's a bad design. And if I hit run, it's going to throw an exception. So what's happening here is, I guess in the first row, I'm starting with I equals 0. So this is fine. You can access table of 0, which is going to give you an array of 1. And then you're going to try to access table.length, which table is this one. And the length of it is 1, 2, 3 arrays. So you're going to get 3 minus 1 is 2 minus 0 is 2. And you're going to try to access element number 2 in an array that only has element number 0. It's not going to work. Thank you for watching the video. I hope it was useful. And in the next video, we're going to talk about functions in Java. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.